Hi, we're going to talk about different types of bearings for your bicycle. So we've got your loose ball bearings, you've got your retainer bearings, and you've got your sealed bearings. Sealed bearings are going to be the best, and the other two are fairly even. Now with loose ball, most of the time that's going to be in your wheel, in your hub of the wheel. That's going to be where most of your loose ball bearings are going to be. Um, and so when you measure, let's say you're replacing bearings, you take one out, you got to measure it. It's either going to be, you know, fractions of an inch. It's going to be 3/16, 5/16, quarter inch. Uh, those are the numbers that you're going to be looking for when you order new bearings. And when you put them back in the hub, you always want to leave a space in between the last two bearings that you put in. And the space is going to be about the size of a bearing or a half a bearing. Okay, so those are the those are the original for the hubs, and the next type of bearing is going to be your retainer bearings. Now the retainer bearings is just what it sounds like. Your bearings are retained by the metal cage, and so you're still going to have the same exact bearing size, 3/16, quarter inch, except there's going to be a count how many bearings are in the retainer. So when you go to order the retainer, you're going to want to know how many bearings are in the retainer and the size of the bearings. And if it's going to be in the hub or the wheel, you're going to need the axle size. So that's going to be 5/16, 3/8, or it's going to be 10, 9, depending if it's going to be metric or not. But you find those retainer bearings could be in the wheel, could be in the bottom bracket where the cranks are, the pedals. The pedals are going to have some of those, or they're going to have loose balls, or the headset. The headset's going to mostly have retainer bearings. Okay, and then the next one, the better one, is the sealed, or they call it the cartridge bearing. So there's several different qualities of the cartridge bearing, but they are going to be the best. And the reason is, if your bearings go out with cartridge bearings, you can just replace the bearings. You don't have to replace the wheel. If it happens to your loose ball or your retainer bearings, you probably are going to have to replace the hub or the cones. And cones are just what the bearings ride against in your wheel, um, bottom bracket, or your headset. So the sealed bearing or the cartridge bearing, the better one, you measure that by um, the OD, it's the outside diameter of the bearing, the ID, the inside diameter of the bearing, and the width. Sometimes they have a code on them, and it'll be like an M46002, and then you'll know the size of the bearing. But they don't all have it, and they don't always all make sense. So you've got the three different style bearings. Your cartridge or your sealed is going to be the best one. That's it. So if I can help you out with anything else, just leave a comment. Thanks.